Did you know that your brain can't tell the difference between imagination and reality? When you visualize something vividly, your mind fires off the same neurons as if you were living it. The line between what's real and what's imagined blurs in your brain. This means every time you imagine success, happiness, or abundance, your brain starts creating neural pathways for it. So the more you imagine, the closer you are to living it. Every time you picture the life you want, you're not just daydreaming. You're literally rewiring your brain for that reality. Imagine it long enough, and soon, it won't just be in your mind, it will be your life.
Remember to have a clear vision in your mind. Try to vibrate at the same frequency as whatever reality you wish to live in. I hope everybody's good and focused. Just like you just saw, today we're gonna go deep into the murky waters on split realities. Let's go.
The prison is here, and it is to do also with the eyes. It is to do with the visible spectrum. You know, probably anybody who owns a dog or a cat had those experiences looking somewhere, you know, watching something, following something with their eyes, and then you look, there's nothing there. So we know that our perception is extremely limited. Even animals have much wider perception. It's outside of what's available to us. Here on this spectrum, we have different ones, right? From the towers broadcasting, the phones, we have the x-rays, etc., etc. So from very long to the very, very short. And in that spectrum, there is the visible light, things that we actually can physically see, which what we believe is the reality. So we are literally held hostage in the visible light spectrum. Just because we cannot perceive it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, those two peepers, they don't see much at all, do they? But you do have a third one that can help you perceive your surroundings, maybe just a little better.
Did you know that each of your dreams could be a glimpse of a parallel life you are leading in another universe? Brace yourself. This will give you shivers. There's a theory suggesting that our dreams aren't merely figments of our imagination, but real glimpses into other dimensions where a version of ourselves is living a slightly or radically different life. Each time you wake up from a dream that felt incredibly real, it might be because it was real, but in a parallel world. The decisions you made in that dream are reflecting choices you've made in another life. It's a concept of the multiverse that broadens the horizons of what we consider our reality. In other words, your dream last night was not just a dream. It was a day in your life in another universe. And every night you get the chance to visit this other you, to explore paths you haven't taken here. It raises a dizzying question. What if the you in that universe is dreaming about your current life right now? It's an endless loop of possibilities and coexisting realities.
Yeah, not every dream will be a reality jump. Sometimes your mind just categorizes all the things that you have seen throughout the day. But after you finish that work, your mind and your soul will take you to these other dimensions, these other realities, where everything feels the same but different. Those are the juicy ones.
There's a good chance that parallel universes do actually exist, and I want to explain to you how you can create one. There's this popular thought experiment in quantum physics known as Schrodinger's cat. It goes like this. You seal a cat inside of a box with a vat of poison, and at some random time, the vat of poison will release and take out the cat. Since you can't see inside of the box, and you don't know if the poison has been released, the cat is technically both alive and dead in a state known as quantum superposition. And the true fate of the cat isn't determined until you open the box and look for yourself. Well, one day, Hugh Everett came around and proposed the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, and said that if the cat can be both alive and dead while in the state of quantum superposition, then there has to be a universe where both outcomes exist. The minute that you open the box, your reality splits one way, but there is equally another reality with the opposite outcome. In the many worlds interpretation, there are an infinite amount of universes, and new ones are created every single time that a decision is made, which means that if you're here right now, you made the decision to watch this video, but there's equally another universe where you made the decision to swipe away.
I should have swiped left, but is that the right one?
This man's story is proof of a parallel universe. This isn't sci-fi. It really happened. In July of 1954, a businessman entered the Tokyo airport. It was a normal day, but things were about to get weird. A security officer asked the man to provide his passport. The man complied. As the security officer looked at the passport, he was baffled. The man's passport said he was from a country called Taured, a country that doesn't exist. But his passport looked official. There were no signs of forgery. Other countries had even added approval stamps to it. The man was even more confused than the security officer. He explained that Taured was a small European country located between France and Spain. He said that he had flown from Taured to Tokyo many times in the past, a claim that only deepened the mystery. Trying to understand the situation, the security officer showed the man a map. They asked him to point to Taured. The man pointed here, the country of Andorra. The man became visibly agitated. He claimed that the map he was looking at was wrong. Because the man could not be verified, he was detained in a nearby hotel. His hotel room had no windows, and guards remained outside the door throughout the night. There was nowhere for the man to go. However, the next morning, the mysterious man and his belongings had vanished. The guards were dumbfounded. While there may be a simple explanation, many believe that
Another country that the universe deleted. Or was it them?
Did you know that the version of yourself that has the exact dream life that you want is actually literally parallel to you, and sometimes you guys bump up against each other? I experienced this myself multiple times a day, and this is coming from someone who is an energy healer, an intuitive, an Akashic Records reader, and also a serial entrepreneur, which means I see this also for my clients who are business owners when they're thinking about the highest version of their business and how they wish they could just make it happen. It's already happening. The best way that I can describe it is, you know, when you're in line about to order your coffee and the person in front of you gets done and they turn around and momentarily you lock eyes, or maybe you just notice them and they brush up against you as they're moving back and you're moving front. And it works like this. Have you ever had moments where you just have this urge to get up and go for a walk, or to check social media, or to connect to somebody, or to pick out this book and just open it up and read a specific passage in it? That is not just a random insight. That's actually that parallel version of you, your higher self, giving you that nudge, giving you that guidance, because it knows that you are wanting to shift into that reality. So if you want to access this version of your reality, my advice to you is, first, really acknowledge that it's not a huge leap from where you are right now. It's so parallel to you, it's so close to you, it's sitting right next to you, it brushes up against you. You get whiffs of it, you get images of it, you get dreams of it. Sometimes people in your current life might even mention things that you're like, wait, did that happen to me, or was that a different version of me that they're talking about? You are so entwined with the reality that you want because you've already created it in the quantum. So just know that what you want wants you. What you want is so much closer than you think. And if you would just relax and listen to the messages, follow your passion, follow those inclinations, you would land there within a moment. And if you would like some help getting unstuck, especially if you're a business owner, then check the link in my bio, because I'm offering free consults. Typically you have to pay for them. I'm offering free consults for the month of July because July is awesome.
Like I've said before, notice the signs on the crossroads, the little tells that will tell you that's the right way.
The US government declassified instructions on how you can unlock hidden superpowers of your mind, and I'm going to go through that report to show you how. It's literally on the CIA's official website called the Gateway Process, and you can even see the report right here. Back in 1983, the CIA wanted to learn how to leave your body for military and intelligence gathering purposes, also known as astral projection. And according to this report written by Colonel Wayne McDonnell, it's totally real and anyone can do it. They came out with the Gateway Process, a step-by-step system to leaving your body, and it was immediately classified up until 2003. It states that solid matter doesn't actually exist, and all of reality is just a sequence of vibrating energy patterns, each with their own unique frequency. Sounds a lot like string theory to me. Well, frequency is just a wave, like light, sound, and even our brain's activity emits waves. They discovered a process called hemisync that uses sound waves to synchronize both hemispheres of your brain, the left logical side and the right creative side, basically matching the frequency of a sound wave to the frequency of your brainwave. Then we can use this to convert energy to access new dimensions, escape reality, travel anywhere in space and time, and as the report puts it, click out of space-time and join infinity, even influence reality with our thoughts.
If you want to astral project, that's fine. It's pretty cool actually. But always make sure that your body will be safe wherever you left it. There will be a little string attached to it. Make sure no thing follows that back to you.
Does a falling tree make a noise? Only if you hear it. That sounds weird. What are you talking about? Because of this reason. When a falling tree falls, it doesn't make a noise. What it does is disturb the air. It disturbs the waveform field, which sends out vibrations. Vibrations are picked up by the ears, communicated electrically to the brain, which decodes them into the sound of a tree falling. A tree falling only makes a noise when we hear it. I'm talking to you now, and what I'm communicating to you is a waveform field generated by my vocal cords. And words are not passing between you and me. Waveform frequency fields are passing between you and me. They're picked up by your ears, communicated to your brain electrically, and it decodes those waveform fields into the words that you are hearing. We are living a complete and utter illusion of reality. People say, well, it's got to be physical because you can't walk through the wall. Well, if you are of the right frequency that's different to the wall, yes, you can. I mean, things go through walls. Frequencies go through walls because the frequency that goes through the wall is so different to the frequency of the wall that it can pass through. And when we have a resistance, which we experience in the decoded world of holographic illusion as a physical resistance, that is an electromagnetic resistance at the waveform level of reality. It's all illusion.
You gotta learn to tweak that frequency. That way, you can skip dimensions. Train yourself in meditation to feel every atom in your body. When you master that, magic will start to happen.
If you feel bored, then think about this. In a parallel universe, there is another you wishing to made the choices you have already made. What do you think?
Here's a mind-blowing theory you might not know. By 2029, we could have evidence of parallel universes. Imagine a reality where countless universes exist alongside ours, each with different histories and outcomes. This concept, known as the multiverse theory, suggests that every decision we make creates a new universe. Scientists are on the brink of developing technology capable of detecting these alternate realities. The Large Hadron Collider, LHC, could potentially reveal tiny black holes, providing clues about extra dimensions and parallel universes. If these black holes are detected, it would support the idea that our universe is just one of many, each with its own unique characteristics. By 2029, advancements in quantum computing and cosmology might allow us to glimpse these parallel worlds. Imagine discovering a universe where history unfolded differently, where significant events took alternate paths, leading to entirely different outcomes. The notion of parallel universes is not just science fiction. It's a tantalizing possibility that could soon become a scientific reality.
I have a theory about this parallel universe that they found in Antarctica, which, by the way, apparently they found in 2020. Okay, so a lot ties into this, so walk with me here. By the way, it's snowing. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Okay, simultaneously, we have all these drones suddenly in the skies. Simultaneously, on Christmas Day, the Vatican is opening 5 portals, and one of them, it's a box that was sealed with ribbon and wax. If you know what that is. They're releasing something. Okay, so back to the parallel universe. I think it's the 5D. Think about it. The particles there are going backwards compared to the ones here. It's the upside down. Except we're in the upside down. We're stuck in the 3D, where everything is fake and time is bouncing all over the place. And remember the rubber fruit? So many things. So this happened in 2020 when they discovered this. But now all of a sudden NASA's coming out and claiming it. And tomorrow's the winter solstice. Per curious. Timing. Okay, and I think the thing with the Vatican, I think they're trying to stop a major shift. Okay, yeah. What do you think? Working theory. Download received. Okay.
There are multiple secrets they're keeping down there. And God knows what. But if they're trying to release somebody or something, I hope it gets them first.
The craziest thing happened to me yesterday, so I woke up in the morning feeling different, but I couldn't really pinpoint why, right? And then I went to the supermarket to go get some eggs, and when I went to go get the egg, in the spot where they normally have been this whole time that I've been living in this area for the last couple of years, they weren't there. Instead, I found a bunch of sodas and beers in the spot where they were normally sitting at. So then I thought to myself, like, whoa, did I just happen to shift into another parallel version of my reality, and this one just has a slightly different layout than the supermarket that I'm used to? Like, that's crazy. Anyway, that was just a thought, right? So I keep going about my day, and then I go to the park, and as I'm walking back home from the park, right, I get to this corner where there's usually this little like corner store, convenience store, and when I get there, guess what I see? The store was closed. It looked abandoned because I didn't see a store sign and apparently had been broken into or something. So then I took that as my sign that, like, no, I have clearly shifted into another parallel reality and I need to talk about it.
Our whole human existence is based on collections of atoms that we assign meaning to that only exist for a blip in the cosmic timeline. Atoms consist of 99.999999999% empty space. If you took away all the empty space in every person on the planet, all 8 billion people would fit inside of a basketball. What we perceive as solid is just a positively charged nucleus and a negatively charged electron holding an electrostatic connection. One thing we don't realize about atoms that make up everything is they're always vibrating. Even solid objects like this TV remote, vibrating. This pencil, vibrating. This pillow, vibrating. Everything you think is real is mostly not there. So stop assigning meaning to nothing and we'll move to the 5D.
Some of you already know about that. The vibrations.
You know the quantum immortality theory? This theory that we don't really die, we just transfer over into parallel universes. So those times when you should have died, and we all have one of those, probably, you didn't. You just transferred over into a parallel universe. Now you're witnessing people die because you believe it, it's in your program. But those people just transferred over into a parallel universe. Because the whole purpose of this is that we're in a quantum computer that's shifting us over to try and find the right lifetime that will lead you back to an understanding of who you are, which is the ascension. Because what purpose is there to die? You need to keep going. And some of us believe in reincarnation, but I like the idea that every single person makes it back to ascension and that we never experience death, we just experience bad experiences that hop us over into a keep going timeline.
You feel a little crazy today? It's because we have this, specifically this. We're having insane quantum energy from a parallel Z reality. I have another one starting here as well. You might be feeling like there's 2 to 3 different directions pulling you in every which way. Maybe you feel like nothing matters, like you feel more aware than you ever have. It's because of this energy. Now, it's also leading us into the 111 portal, and then on the 25th, all the planets align. Right now, this month is going to feel like an emotional, absolute destroyer of worlds roller coaster. If you're aligned to this energy here, you're going to see a lot of blue. You're going to have a lot of like overwhelming deja vu, and songs, people, things from a decade ago are going to show up. Now, to make the right choice in this situation, to be able to actually use this Z parallel reality, I have a full formula, a secret code, if you will, that you should be carrying with you. It's in my Goddess and King trip if you want to take a look at that. I know I'm feeling it, and I know I'm going to take full advantage of that to make a decision, because I've had 3 massive decisions here right in front of me, and I'm like, wow, okay, this explains all of it.
Everybody's feeling unhinged nowadays. Just remember, you matter.
Well, it only took me 44 years to figure this out, so I figured the least I could do is share this with you. We think that there are 8 billion people on the world, and there's just one reality. But what I've actually found is that there are 8 billion different realities that are happening at the same time. And the realities that are happening at the same time are simply our perspective. Our perspective is made up of all of our past experiences, made up of our personalities, our subconscious thoughts. And these are the things that create the reality that we experience every single day. So your reality and my reality are 2 completely different things. Here's why this is important. We are hardwired with something known as a negativity bias. So good things happen to us and bad things happen to us, but the bad things take so much more time and brain space to process. So we get the impression that more bad things are happening to us than good things. This is why it's so easy to feel like you are in a state where so many terrible things are happening all at once, just because it takes so much more time to process the negative things. This is why it's been so helpful as a life hack to practice gratitude, because by shining a light every single day on the positive things, on the good things, on the things that you are grateful for, you are able to train your brain to notice those good things. And by doing that every single day, those positive things expand and you get the impression that more good things are happening in your life. It has worked for me and it has worked for so many other people. I hope this helps.
There is a universe inside all of us, and you are the architect of your own self-deception. I just love saying that, but it's so true. Shape the reality you want to live in. And don't allow yourself to be vibrating lower, thinking about things that can happen, could have happened, but probably won't ever happen.
Breaking news. Astronomers just discovered a parallel universe in which time flows backwards. In Antarctica, scientists are flying some radio antennas 37,000 meters above the ground on a giant balloon. And while it's up there looking around, it detects high-energy particles called neutrinos. Neutrinos are a particle that have a mass of almost zero and interact with almost nothing, which means they can pass through things pretty much undetected, earning them the nickname of the ghosts of the universe. In fact, about 100 trillion neutrinos pass through your body every second. They pass through Earth. This is an image of the sun through Earth from neutrinos ejected from the core of the sun. Neutrinos don't bump into things very often, but when they do, we can detect them. So scientists are watching neutrinos bump into the Antarctic ice sheet. But sometimes these neutrinos look like they're coming from Earth instead of from space, which is really weird. So we don't physically know what's happening. But does that mean there's a parallel universe? No, there's a bunch of things it could be. We just don't know yet. And if you want more science and debunking videos, you can follow me here in the place that I can't mention.
NASA scientists discovered a parallel universe where time might run backwards. That's because these particles in Alaska that they were studying were defying physics. Without getting too deep into it, backwards can mean many different things. In that universe, they might grow old to young instead of young to old like we are used to in this universe. Meaning that when we die, we probably start life there, and then when they die, they start life here. It's kind of like a cycle. Backwards can also mean that it's the same thing as this universe, except everything is the opposite. Meaning that in this universe you're right-handed, but in the other one you're left. Or in this universe you were born, in the other you weren't. All I know is now that it's 2020, we're in a universe where nothing's impossible. Just know we live in a big movie now.
I'm sorry, did astronomers just discover a parallel universe in which time flows backward?
Google may have just proved the multiverse is real. Google just unveiled Willow, which may be the biggest leap forward in quantum computing. It's so powerful that it was able to complete a benchmark problem or compute test in 5 minutes that would have taken the most powerful supercomputer 10 septillion years to complete. That's 10 followed by 24 zeros and is more than the age of the universe. The lead of Google's quantum compute team, Harmit Nevin, who definitely looks like he's from the future, said that the insane computing ability of Willow suggests that calculations were done simultaneously across parallel universes, with each universe handling a piece of the problem. Well, okay, I'll take their word for it, but why is this good? Quantum computing has massive potential uses, like revolutionizing pharmaceuticals, saving billions of dollars and years of development. But there are serious risks, particularly regarding security. Secure electronic information right now is encrypted, but could easily be decrypted with quantum computing. So it's a threat to all traditional cybersecurity methods. So, are we screwed? Not for a few years at least. Quantum computers would need to be about 1,000 times more powerful than Google's Willow to break traditional encryption methods. It sounds like this capability is a few years away, even on the most aggressive timelines. Plus, scientists are already deep in development on quantum-proof security measures. Here's a very helpful and completely logical diagram as evidence. Plus, this technology is massively expensive and complicated to build. So, at least for now, your Finsta is safe.
I always say be careful what you wish for. You don't even know where that computer is taking its information from. But I'm trying to stay positive. So I'm hoping it comes from a good place.
Now this is incredible. What if I told you everything you know about sleep is about to change? New discoveries by CERN states their Large Hadron Collider can create the Mandela effect by colliding billions of protons in a certain way that no matter how far apart they are in space, their state remains the same. How this ends is mind-blowing, so strap in. The theory is that traversing to a parallel universe is now possible in our sleep. Every time you go to sleep, you wake up in a slightly different world. It's a lot like ours, but not exactly the same. A parallel universe. The things you do and the choices you make decide which new world you wake up in. Everyone's a little different in each new place. You might think the world stays the same while you're awake, but now we have the technology to change it while you're asleep. When you wake up, you kind of remember what happened before, but it's all a bit foggy. You just go along with it thinking nothing's changed.
CERN project is a scary thing, but it's the reason we all have internet and can share with each other information. So it's a conundrum when it comes to feelings.
Said you all assume you have a single timeline that goes from your past to your future. In fact, what you're doing is this. You are scanning all of the frames of reference of all the parallel realities that are relevant for the theme that you chose to explore in this life. And you are drawing down and plugging in and unplugging from and connecting to and disconnecting from all the frames and parallel realities that are relevant for this theme. You are constructing, literally moment to moment, billions of times per second, constructing what appears to be a single timeline made up of frames, one after the other in a certain order, from thousands of parallel reality connections. You are doing this all the time automatically. When you have an inspiration, oh, I just thought of this. It may be coming from a parallel reality person that you're plugging into that is having that experience. And therefore you can get the inspiration because their experience in that particular reality is relevant for the theme you chose to explore in this reality, in this timeline. You're constantly merging with timelines to build the timeline that is relevant to you.
That guy is a smart one. But is he actually using somebody else to talk through him? I don't know. He used to talk very funny in the beginning. It was probably very taxing for him, so I think he skipped that part in the act. But that's not to say that his information is not valid.
We're going to be going into a totally different dimension by raising the frequencies and vibrations of the earth. It will shift into a new dimension. And this is the greatest show on earth because they said all the beings and all the universes are watching because this has never happened to in any universe anywhere, that an entire planet will shift into a new dimension. And when this happens, it's like two earths, as though they split. The old earth is left behind with all the negativity and all the chaos. And the new earth separates, and it will be totally new and beautiful. Now those who have raised the vibrations and frequencies of their bodies will shift into the new earth. And a lot of this is happening right now. A lot of people are feeling this in their bodies because they are having physical symptoms they can't explain. This is happening as the body shifts and changes the vibrations and frequencies of the body. The frequencies can't be changed immediately because it would be too damaging to the body. The body couldn't handle it. It would die. So it has to be done in steps, slowly.
I always liked that lady, and she's the only one to me that seems genuine. Alright guys, that's all for today. I hope you liked it. Remember to share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!